All right, welcome back. Another edition of Voice of Reason Sports Podcast. Yo,
Yo,
Saquon got the money, man. Got the bag. Did you see
they
it?
finally gave him the bag. Kind of what I'm saying, kind of what he deserves. It don't ain't really what he deserved, but kind of what he deserved. I mean, getting like 20, what's the averaging about 20, 21
20
million?
mil. Yep, 20
And
million.
you know what I'm saying? He should have been getting that. I mean, come on. He was good.
Well,
He was the best player on a bad team. He was the only thing they had.
right.
You know what I'm saying? So
What?
people had to see his talent.
Yeah, well, I agree with you, but I mean, this is way over market value for running backs, right? And
Is
rightfully so.
it,
He's
is
getting
it
it now.
really? Is it
Well,
really?
yeah,
I mean, Zeke got 15 million 3 years
right,
ago, 4 years ago.
right.
So I don't know if that's overvalued for a top running back now.
Well, it's not overvalued now.
Yeah.
He's a Super Bowl champion running back with 2,000 yards rushing.
Well, I'm talking
So,
about the top running back. For the top running back right now, that's not overvalued.
oh no, it's definitely not overvalued. I'm
Right.
I'm just talking about the way that the Giants were dogging him, and
Oh
then
yeah.
the deal that the Eagles gave him, which was about at market value. What I think he was getting about 12 or 13 million a year, right?
That's so undervalued for real. For him, that's undervalued.
Yeah, but Christian McCaffrey got what 50 million a year, I think it
15,
was. Yeah,
15.1. Mm-hmm.
right. So he should have been getting around about right there, but
Yeah.
20
Yeah.
million a year, I'm okay with.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's for Saquon. Saquon
Yeah.
was the engine on that team. There's no
Oh,
doubt. You put up 2,000 yards. There's no way you can put around that. There's no way. I mean, I get that Jalen Hurts and pretty much most of the people on that team were in the Super Bowl 2 years ago.
right.
He made a difference on that team.
Right. And he's getting 36 million of it guaranteed.
Yeah.
So that is also good and a good sign for running back. So kudos to Saquon putting
Oh,
running backs back on the map.
yeah, no doubt. And all this, oh, you can get a running back in the fourth, fifth round. No, no, you're not getting Saquon in the fourth or fifth round.
No.
Okay. You're just not. And I'm
No.
glad that he put some value, put some respect on his name on the running backs' names. Because I
Mm-hmm.
just thought that they were getting played out. I mean, it was just getting worse and worse and worse.
It
And
was.
then, him and Henry had to come and bring it back for the shit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I don't think we ever had two running backs in the same year go over 1,900 yards. I don't
Did
think that's
Henry
ever
get
happened.
1,900 yards?
Huh?
Huh.
Yeah. Henry had 1,900, yo. Henry. Yeah.
So Henry was the other, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
Henry had 1,900. You know
Wow.
what I'm saying? I don't think we've ever had two running backs and once in the same season have 1,900 plus yards.
I feel like we did in the 90s with like Barry Sanders and maybe I don't know, somebody else, Thurman
Mm-mm.
Thomas or something. No,
Nah, definitely wasn't Thurman. Thurman wasn't a big yardage guy. He was an all-purpose guy. Like he was like
you're
Mark
right.
Smith. He was like,
Or like Roger Craig or somebody, right?
right. I think Emmett had 1,800 around there mid 90s. That's it. That was 1,800.
Okay.
I don't remember
Okay.
me sniffing it after that. Terrell Davis had 2,000 and late, but I don't remember nobody running with him at that same
Mm.
time.
You would think in the 90s when they were running the ball heavily and running backs were getting paid more than the quarterbacks, you would think they would have two running backs with 1,900 yards in the season.
Just don't remember it ever like that many yards being uh, by two separate running backs almost getting 2,000 yards in the same season.
Yeah, I mean, I don't
Yeah,
know.
I
I'm just
remember that. I remember
I,
that. That ever
Yeah,
happened.
I think I would have remembered it too, but I'm just surprised that it didn't happen. But because I felt like everybody was rushing for 1,000 yards in the 90s. I can remember after Walter Payton retired, there was Neil Anderson with the Bears. He rushed for 1,000 yards.
Right, right,
There's
right.
always
It'll be
somebody.
like 6 or 7 running backs over 1,000 yards or over.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
Uh,
Yeah,
uh, you remember in the early 2000s, what with the Broncos would every year they had a new running back that rushed for 1,000 yards. Um, Orlando's Gary. Trying to remember the
yeah,
other guy's name. Something Anderson. I remember he rushed for like 300
yeah.
yards against the Saints. They
Mm-hmm.
they were doing it easily back then. But yeah, anyway, yeah, no, this was a big year for running backs, and hopefully this puts them back on the map, especially for running backs of Henry's age. You know what I mean? Because normally running backs are devalued as the closer they get to 30,
Oh
and
yeah,
his stock went up.
yeah, big time at the late age. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
No doubt,
yes, yeah,
no
yeah.
doubt.
So
And how old is Saquon anyway? Saquon, is he 27? Is he
I
gonna be
want to say 27 because I felt like he was with the Giants for like 5 years or so.
Yeah, at least 5 years with them.
Yeah. So yeah, he should be 27 or 28. So he's up there in age, right? Usually when running backs start to get devalued. But I like the fact no, he's 28.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's 28. He turned 28 on the 9th of February. So fresh 28. But this shows a lot of it shows that the Eagles trust him and believe that he's going to be good for the years to come to give him, this is a 2-year extension. He already signed a 3-year deal with him, so he has another 4 years with the Eagles on his contract.
Mm. Wow.
Yeah, yeah. So,
That's the versatile they're gonna have for the next 3-4 years. It's just so
yep, unbelievable. All right. Well, other news in the NFL. The Jets are making sweeping changes. They already released Aaron Rodgers like what 3 weeks ago. Now DaVante Adams was cut.
yeah. I mean, it
Yeah.
don't surprise me that they're getting rid of DaVante Adams. I mean, you bring him in, he's like one of those, end of the contract type of deals where they brought him in and they tried to, team him up with who Aaron Rodgers wanted.
Yep.
And now Aaron Rodgers ain't there. So, you know, I would try to keep him if I was them, to
You
be honest.
would?
I would try Devontae Adams. Yeah, he still got some gas in the tank. He definitely still got some gas in the tank. He just was playing with the Jets, who were just turmoil. It was just utter turmoil last year. And I mean, I guess it started with Aaron Rodgers, right at the quarterback. But it wasn't Devontae Adams' fault.
Well,
Remember,
the only reason I disagree with that is because Devontae Adams, I think he counts against the salary cap like 32 million.
yeah, oh
He
well,
is,
yeah. Well, considering that, yeah,
yeah.
he would have to
He's
restructure his deal or something like
yeah,
that.
he's like early 30 years old. It's just it doesn't make sense for a team that's rebuilding to keep him around.
Yeah, and they're definitely in rebuilding mode.
Yeah,
Definitely in rebuilding mode. So, yeah, yeah.
yeah. And if I'm the Jets, no more ex quarterbacks from the Packers. So when 20 years from now, or 15 years from now, when Jordan Love
Right.
becomes a free agent,
Yep.
Jets do not
That's the
sign
plan
Jordan
again.
Love.
Exactly. And somehow when they're at Green Bay, they sign up for this Jets Vikings retirement plan.
Right.
um,
So
so
you expecting Aaron Rodgers to go to the Vikings
well,
now?
I would if they didn't have already have two quarterbacks they were trying to make a decision over.
Right.
I would, but no, not this time. But yeah, it seems like they lead there and then they go right to the Jets for some reason. It's weird.
It
That's what
is.
two Hall of Fame quarterbacks did that back to back, right behind.
Right. So I expect Jordan Love to start making his plans to get to New York after another, I don't know, 12 years. I'm trying to think of how many years he's been with the Packers. So usually after 18, 20 years, they make their way to the Jets.
Right, right.
So, all right. Uh, how do you pronounce the guy's name that re-signed with the Cowboys?
Oh my God, we just called him Diggy. That's what we used to call him, Diggy on the Cowboys. But
Okay.
but he's also Diggy Wanza.
Also,
Diggy
Odigi
Zua.
Wanza. That's not bad to say.
Diggy
Okay.
Zua. Diggy Zua.
Okay. Well, got a new deal with the Cowboys. Uh,
Yeah, I mean, he was. I mean, I'm not gonna say he was like. I don't know if he's worth 20 million a year. Let me put it that way.
okay. I was wondering. I was like, this is a big deal.
Yeah, it's a big deal. It's a huge deal. I think they overpaid for him, to be honest.
You think?
He has games, but it wasn't like I see him take over games. That's money like you taking over game money right there to
Yeah.
me.
That 4 years, 80 million. That's
Yeah,
a dominant linebacker.
that's a dominant defensive player type money.
Yeah.
Uh,
I don't
I
remember your defense
don't know if I
being
like,
nice like that.
yeah, I don't know if I like that one. You at
Oh,
least
okay.
get Micah wrapped up first, and then you can start doing crazy deals like this.
Right, right, right. If Mike, I can see this for Micah, but I don't even know this dude. I couldn't even pronounce his last name. I'm like, is this?
Yeah, man.
Hmm.
What can I say? This is what my organization does. But they're going to make some cap room with Dak. They'll restructure his deal. I think they said we should have about 85 to 90 million dollars, something like that. We should have a nice little cap cushion next year with all the reconstructions. Is what I'm hearing. If all that,
Well, if you reconstruct Dak, that means you're going to keep him longer.
yeah, well, we already tied into him. He already got 80 million. So he already got 80 something million of his contract. We already paid for.
Well, I mean, you restructure, you
My bad. I
extending it
said
out.
80 million. After this year, he'll have about, I think it's 129 million dollars of his contract.
Mm.
So at that point, we committed. I mean, he ain't going away to the end of his contract.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like to me. And look, I'll be honest with you. Look, you do not want to be in quarterback purgatory. That's what we're in. We're in quarterback purgatory. Well,
Yeah.
you're searching for the guy,
Yep.
and the guy may not be great, but at least Dak gives you promise. He's a good quarterback. Where
Yeah.
you get stuck with a bunch of average quarterbacks that well, you won't be as bad where you can get a top quarterback in the draft, but you're not good enough to even make the playoffs. Like with Derek Carr, we're going to be 8, 9, 7, and 10 every year. He's
Mhm.
good enough, but not good enough to make the playoffs. And even if he does get to the playoffs, he's not even going to win that playoff game. He's been in the league 11 seasons and been to the playoffs twice.
Yeah. That's pretty bad.
That's pretty bad. Yeah.
That's pretty bad.
Yeah. And people got mad with me 3 years ago when I told them this. I say, I already know what this guy is. I've seen him for 10 seasons. I got enough data. This is
Mhm.
what you're going to get.
Right.
You're going to get 8 and 9, 8 and 8, back when he was playing 8 and 8, when it was a 16 game season, 7 and 10, 7 and 11.
Hmm.
That's what you're going to get. He's consistent. I give him that. Consistent.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, that's pretty much it. I mean, see, and the thing is, like, I'm wondering if sometimes a quarterback is just what they are, right?
Yeah.
Because Dak, if you look at his college career, his NFL career is pretty much the same.
The same thing.
It's
Yep.
pretty much the same thing. He has little highlights.
Yep.
He has times where he played a quote unquote above his head, which you thought
Yep.
he was going to uh end up being one of the top teams at some point during the season, which they
Yep.
have had a number one seed.
They were the number one team when he was at Mississippi State.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're ranked
they,
number one overall.
they were ranked number one overall at one point,
Yeah,
and it fell
yeah,
apart.
yeah. And then he never got over the hump. Never got
Yep.
over the hump where he could get a national title.
Yep.
Go up to the NBA and the NFL. Same thing. Has highlights, plays above his head. He's a fourth round pick. He was a runner up to NFL MVP. He could look good during the regular season, but can't get you over the hump to get you a national championship, aka a Super Bowl.
Super Bowl.
You know what
Yep.
I'm saying? And the same thing with Lamar. Lamar, same
Mm-hmm.
thing.
Yep.
He
Yep.
goes in, he's in the college,
Yep.
a highly average
Highlights.
quarterback, right? Wins the Heisman,
Yep. Wins
which
the
is comparable
MVP.
to MVP, right? Right. But can't get over the hump, can't get you to the national championship,
Right.
can't get you to the Super Bowl NFL.
Right.
And
Right. And he's consistent with it. It
he's
seems to be
consistent
the
with it.
same thing every year. Have an
Yeah,
outstanding regular season, get to the playoffs, can't get
yeah,
over the hump.
yeah.
Yeah.
Every
Yeah.
time. At some point, you got to say, this is the player at some point. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
You got to
Yep.
say that. Now, of course, there's some outliers. Like people saying about Peyton Manning for a long time. But
Right.
but Peyton Manning was putting up unbelievably gaudy stats, though. I mean,
Yeah.
he was putting up ridiculously gaudy stats. So you kind of suspected that eventually he was going to get over that hump. And
Right.
I mean, and he did with the Colts, and then eventually with Denver. As
Let's go back to Peyton. He was
mm,
losing to the same team. He was
well,
losing to the Patriots
that is
in the
true,
playoff.
which a lot of people did, but
Yeah, which a lot of people did. He kept losing to one of his. He had those games where he was like, I think he lost to the Jets 41-10. Something wacky would happen. But
right,
when he was having really good seasons and going through the playoffs playing really good, he would lose to the Patriots. And I think that was the one year they won the Super Bowl. He finally beat the Patriots.
right.
But yeah, but yeah, but I think in his case you could say, yeah, he could not beat this one team. He struggled against Belichick,
Yeah.
and but but Lamar is losing to everybody. You
Uh,
know,
well, yeah, because he lost to Tennessee. I remember that when he lost to Bills, and he lost to the Chiefs, of
to
course.
the Chiefs. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
He's losing, and didn't one year they lose to the Bengals?
The Ravens lost to in the playoffs. I don't think not
Maybe,
since Lamar been there.
yeah. I don't think Lamar started that game. I think that was Tyler Huntley that
Mm.
played in that game. There was a playoff game they played in where
Oh, you
Lamar
talking
didn't
about
play.
when he was on his contract year before he got his new
Yeah,
deal, and he
yeah.
decided to play.
He was hurt.
Yeah, he said he was hurt, quote unquote. Yeah, yeah,
Sure, Lamar, I got you. That
yeah.
was a throwaway season.
Uh-huh.
So, um, other news regarding the Saints, Jamal Williams was released by the Saints, saves the team some money, clears at least 40 million for the cap. So
Wait a
yeah.
minute. Jamal Williams saves 40 million in cap space.
Wait,
How
let's
did
see.
how did he get that much stuff? Just him by
No,
himself?
no, no, no. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. No,
Oh,
the Saints have to clear 40 million.
okay,
Releasing
okay,
him
okay. I got
saves them
you.
1.5 million.
Oh, okay. Damn, you would think that would be a bigger cut. I mean,
Yeah, yeah,
why cut him at that point? Uh,
right. Well, I mean, he was taking up space. He's taking up a roster spot, and they can't find any use for him. He just does not fit.
yeah, yeah,
He
yeah.
he didn't fit.
I guess he was a better fit with the Lions when he was with the Lions, but
I
yeah,
guess so. Or maybe the Lions knew what we didn't know, what we're seeing now. He
right.
just, you know,
Yeah,
he's
he's
just not
above
that good.
average. Right, right.
Yeah,
He's an above average running back.
yeah.
So,
I honestly I thought he was weird too. He's an anime guy, and
really.
yeah, he kind of does a lot of weird stuff at the training camp stuff. I mean, some of the fans like it; they find that funny and stuff. I don't know. I guess when I'm watching sports, I'm about winning, and I don't want to sacrifice winning. Like some players are jerks, but they know how to win, and I like that.
Yeah.
Some players are really nice people, but they don't win. So I don't. I'm like, well, really nice guy. If I had a sister, I'll let him date her. But I don't want to be. I don't want to play on my team. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like how I feel about Jameis Winston. He seemed like a nice guy. You know, but do I want to be my starting quarterback? No.
Right.
So people back home, they love him. I'm like, I don't get it. I don't get it. Speaking of people back home, happy Mardi Gras to y'all out there.
Yeah, didn't they delay it due to hot winds or something like that?
No, they started it early.
Oh, they started early. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. They're expecting They started early this morning because they're expecting thunderstorms now.
Mm,
So
mm.
like some of the big parades, Zulu and Rex, which normally starts around late morning and goes on for like 3 or 4 hours. They started it early, like I want to say 7 or 8 in the morning, and then they didn't have any bands in the parade. So
Mm-hmm.
usually expect the bands to get you dancing, get you moving, waiting on the floats and stuff like that. But no bands, and that helps him move faster because the bands, there's people out there walking,
Going
so
down,
that
right.
slows everything down.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Get
yeah,
that.
yeah. But yep, happy Mardi Gras. Fun stuff out there.
Debo Samuels is with the Commanders now. The question is, how much better does he really make that team? Because you know what? I was starting to get that Debo Samuels became like a locker room cancer
He was.
at San
San
Francisco.
Francisco. He was.
You know what I'm saying? Like very To-ish.
Yep.
I'm saying like he seems like he was a standoff type of dude. He going around, hitting the kicker in the face on on the sideline. You know what I'm saying? Because he missed a field goal and then he go drop a pass.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Um, and then he had the little thing like some of his antics. You know what I'm saying? He come to the stadium, looking kind of weird, looking kind of what's the new word they say? The youngins say, sassy.
Is it sassy?
Coming to the joint, looking kind of sassy, yo. You know what I'm
I
saying? Have you
I
seen some
did.
of the outfits he come to the game with?
I think I even sent you one. There was one video of him walking to the game and they were playing Little Richard or wop babaloo bob or wop bamboo drew the booty. You saw that?
Oh boy, I don't remember that one, but
Yeah, I'll have to send it to you. It is hilarious because the way he's walking with this powder blue suit on, and he's walking kind of sassy like, and they
mm,
playing the Little Richard music, and it is perfect,
uh,
perfect for the
the
walk.
the division I got of him in my head is that black suit he got with the shorts on and the purse.
Oh,
In the purse, dog. Oh my god. Yo, if he don't look sassy, if he don't look like he need to be in San Francisco,
it's
like
like why leave San Francisco?
why leave San
Perfect.
Francisco? You obviously like their style there, quote unquote. I mean, that one was kind of that one was seriously got me questioning. Like, okay, maybe he do go that way because I can't imagine he came out to how he looked himself in the mirror. He didn't think that was sassy looking. He was looking
A
quite
wop
sassy.
bop a loo bob, a wop bamboo, drew the booty.
You know what I'm saying? Coordinator go say a play he don't like. He gonna say, "Shut up."
Yeah.
Um,
Yo,
yeah,
I
but my thing is, I don't think he's going to even stay healthy. He just don't. That's just
no.
not what he does. He cannot stay healthy at
Well, I
all.
think well, I think part of the problem was the way San Francisco was using him. They were overusing him. They was using him like a running back too.
Yeah, I mean, it was 2 or 3 carries a game. You know what I'm saying? I get it, yeah, but he was like he was going down in production. I mean, would it be
Yeah.
surprising to tell you that in 6 years he's only had 1,000 yard season?
Well, but I think if you combine it with his rushing yards, he had games where he had over 50 yards rushing.
Yeah, but he would have like 129 yards rushing for the season and 240 yards rushing for the season. It really wasn't significant. It was like significant as CD Lamb getting a jet sweep. You know what I'm saying? Or
Mm.
getting it in the round every once in a while. And CD Lamb did line up in the backfield at times.
Yeah.
You
I
know,
know I know for Debo Samuel, he did it a lot. Early on in his time in San Francisco, they lined him up out of the backfield, a lot of jet sweeps. He was getting a lot of carries, and I was like, yo, they're weighing him down. I can't
yeah,
understand why he was getting injured.
yeah, I guess so. But even when they stopped giving him the ball like that, he still was getting injured. I mean,
Right.
the damage was already done at that
I
time.
think so.
But you know what I'm saying? Now they think that this makes people are saying this makes Washington a Super Bowl contender. And I don't think he's that type of player
Hmm.
no more. I don't think he's that put you over hump type player no more.
I don't think so either. I agree with you. I don't think he's that type of player. Not at 29 and after he's already all broke up.
Right. I mean, you got him cheap though. I mean, Washington side, kick the tires. I get it. He's a
So
team and he showed you something in the past he could do. You only had to spend a fifth round pick for him.
so like I remember, and this is the year 2021. He had 1,400 yards receiving and
Yes.
365 yards rushing.
Right. That
That
was
was
best. Yeah, that was his best year.
that was his best year.
Hands
And
down.
then,
He ain't touched
yep,
it in any other year. So,
right. He hadn't come close, but I
not even
thought I thought that's where he was overused. He had I said 121 receptions. He had 77 receptions and 121 targets, but he
target.
had 77 receptions and 59 carries.
Hmm.
So he was getting the ball a lot. That's over 100 touches a game.
Yeah.
I mean, 100 touches in that season.
Yeah. I mean, but you think the top receivers, yeah, they're going to have 120 touches in the season.
Yeah.
The top receivers. I mean, look at when CeeDee Lamb last year. He probably had like 160 touches, if you include his rushes.
But CD not having 40 carries in the season.
No, not 40 carries in the season. But he still had like 140 touches. You
Right.
know?
But this dude is getting at least 40. Like, to me, running back is probably the hardest skilled position in the NFL and all of football.
Well,
Because not only
it's the most punishing for sure.
it's the most punishing. Okay, that's a good way of saying it. Because not only you run the ball, but you got to block for the quarterback. They want you to catch the ball out the backfield.
Yeah.
And not only you blocking for the quarterback, you blocking 300-pound, 280-pound dudes coming after the quarterback. Like the receivers blocking a little cornerback, 180-pound cornerback, where you got linebackers and defensive linemen, you're asking some, 5'7" running back to block. So it's punishing.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it is a punishing position, but like I said, that year he had the 59. What's his most since then? Like 20 in the season?
No, he had 42 carries this season.
Yeah, 42 rushing carries in the season?
That's what it says. 42 rushing carries for 136 yards. It
Okay,
ain't all the yards.
there you go. So that's 2 or 3 a game, like I said. 2 or 3 a game.
Yeah, and then he had 37 last year, and he had 42 in 2022, and his most was 59 in 2021. And that's the season I remember. He had a ton of a ton of carries in 2021.
Yeah. So he probably had about 4 a game that season.
Yeah.
You know
that's a lot.
It's 2 or 3 carries for a football player is not a lot to me. That's just not. You're a football player. You know what I'm saying? You're a football player. You should be able to handle 2 or 3 carries at running back.
I hear you.
You're getting tackled by don't get wrong. The linebackers getting tackled. I mean, receivers getting tackled by linebackers too.
They are. That's what I'm saying.
The big safeties and strong safeties.
But that's my point. It's not just the 4 carries per game, but he's also getting the receptions a game.
Right, but how many receptions he had last year and the year before that? His production is so low.
Oh yeah, what we talk about is injuries. Got a lot of injuries.
Yeah.
So,
but even last year when he played, he just wasn't. He wasn't even the number 1 receiver last year. Like as far as it was Brandon Ayuk, right? I mean, the year before that, it was Brandon Ayuk. And even this year, Brandon Jennings had better numbers than he did.
Yeah. No, he was not him. He was not the normal Deebo Samuels.
Because I think he's an athlete. But he's not a receiver technician. You know what I'm saying?
No.
He's not giving you the best routes. You know what I'm saying? He's not giving you the smart play, quote unquote. He just giving you the athletic play.
Yeah, he's more or less a running back playing receiver.
Right. And that's why it's like they're trying to put the ball in his hands without him having to think too much by giving him carries. Because otherwise, why would you need to put him back there? You had running backs. You got Christian McCaffrey. They had a slew of running backs this year. They had no reason to have to run him in the backfield this year. I mean, I guess Christian McCaffrey did. Christian McCaffrey got hurt this year. I mean, the year before, like last year. Or the one that just passed. They really had no, because they had a whole stable of running backs at that point.
Right.
But I guess they were just trying to get the ball in his hand, be a playmaker.
All right, thanks for joining us again. We do this thing every week. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you next week.
Holla.